Josh made it, got on the early bus.
Woohoo!
Now restocking, huh?
Yep, and I even got a new pair of trekking poles.
Yes! Thank you for bringing them up. So this morning I met Chris Reynolds. Actually, Chris, you and I met the other day when you were doing an article for the LA Times, right?
Exactly, still working on it.
All right, so you're up here for a couple days?
Exactly, 2 nights here and then a night in Bishop with photographer Al Shaven. And we're working on a story about Red's Meadow and the interesting role it plays in the kind of ecosystem of Greater Mammoth and the key part it has on the itinerary if you're a Pacific Crest Trail hiker or a John Muir Trail hiker.
So has being up here convinced you that you're gonna do a JMT hike or a PCT hike?
Oh no, absolutely not. I see those mileage signs out by the totem out there, and I think we're at what, mile 906, 907 of the Pacific Crest Trail. I cannot imagine waking up in the morning and thinking, okay, only 1,700 miles to go.
Well, you just have to do it day by day, right?
I guess so. Yeah, I don't know. My hat's off to you. Even 200 miles is more than I've hiked.
Oh, you're great. Well, thanks for talking with me.
Happy to.
There is a hub of activity around the hiker box today, and I donated a bunch of stuff to it because I overpacked my resupply bucket, and it was gone in seconds as soon as I put it in. So I've had the pleasure this morning of having breakfast with the owner of Red's Meadows. Can you introduce yourself?
I'm Bobby Tanner. My family has owned Red's Meadow since 1960, and we've owned and operated this operation. It's a great place to make a living, being able to live here in the forest and deal with people that are very happy to be here, and it's a wonderful environment here.
Well, I have to say, this has been amazing for me. I stayed in motel room number 1 last night. It was great accommodations, and having pancakes for breakfast, you can't beat it. So thank you for all you do for the hikers.
The food is kind of the most important thing. One thing of all the people that pass through here, people that are hiking the trails, we have good food, everything else works just fine.
Well, thank you for everything.
Okay.
So day 7's cloudy. We've had blue sky most of the time we've been on the trail, but don't mind the clouds at all. It's refreshing, actually. It's been raining a little. I lost my backpack cover, rain cover, back when I was doing some training hikes, so hoping it doesn't rain too much so I don't get my pack wet. But hiking through an area of the forest, still in Ansel Adams, where it had been hit by, I think it was called the Rainbow Fire back in the 90s, and it's pretty sad. But I guess apparently it just missed Reds. It came close and just split as it got to Reds. I had the opportunity to hike with the Los Angeles Times newspaper reporter who's doing an article about the area, and with a photographer from the Times. They wanted to experience the JMT firsthand. So they happened to pick the slowest hiker in the land to experience it with. So it was fun. This view gives a sense of how some of the new growth is coming back since the fire. Just a couple miles into today's hike, and I can already tell that taking the 0 day was important to recover and rest. My blisters feel better, and I also feel stronger with the 1 day rest. So if you get a chance and you're hiking the JMT, definitely take a 0 every once in a while. The Suttons came through big time with my new trekking poles, and I'm thankful because the first couple miles out of Red's Meadow are uphill. We're going to get to over 10,000 feet of elevation within a couple hours of leaving Reds. So trekking poles definitely coming in. There are some spots on the trail where you just don't want to stop paying attention because the hill goes straight down, and the section that I just went through was one of them. There's some beautiful mountains, but I didn't want to stop to film because I didn't want to take a chance of falling. Now it looks like I'm flattening out a little, but I could definitely see why the ice axe is necessary during the winter, and maybe even not in the winter. Steep drops. The trail today is kind of meandered through the forest. I really have liked it. There's been not really many views, but it's been nice hiking and enjoyable hiking. People have been so friendly along the way. Been stopping to talk to some PCT through hikers, and what a great group. I chose a different type of lunch spot today. Instead of by a stream, I kind of tucked myself away behind a rock outcropping on a bed of pine needles and pine cones. And it's perfect because it can kind of block the wind and I can just relax and then have a great lunch. But I do get still a really nice view of the mountains. One quick thing about cravings. They say that sometimes you have cravings on the trail, and my craving has been for Gatorade and seltzer water for some weird reason. So while I was at Red's Meadow and Mammoth, I mixed seltzer water and Gatorade into a bunch of different bottles and I took it out on the trail today. I really enjoy it. I see a little blue sky there. The sun's starting to come out. I'm very lucky. So behind me is the ridgeline that I was walking on earlier today, looking over to this side. And now I'm headed on this ridgeline. So I'll take you on a little walk. Less than a half mile to camp. I can't wait to boil up some water and eat up a dinner. This is I don't know, it's hard to tell on video, but it's a very steep drop. Night is getting nice. Tent spot tonight is at Purple Lake. I would say this is my least favorite tent spot so far. We're up above the lake, which is down there. Looks like there's some beautiful mountains above the lake, and the sun is setting over there. There's a lot of leaning trees, which is why I set up my tent here, and the rest of the camping crew set up down there, but I wasn't real comfortable with that. Plus there's a ton of mosquitoes here, so that is not the most comfortable. So early in the tent tonight.